Happy
Honey, I'm home.
Sunday.
Morning.
All right, all right. Is there a topic du jour?
Du jour.
Yes. S'il vous plaît.
Oui, oui.
Je parle français, monsieur?
Oui, oui.
D'accord.
Parlez-vous français? Avec toi, c'est ça.
Un peu. So,
Wow.
so what is the topic today, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen?
I have one maybe.
Let's go.
That might be good. I have as I think I told you yesterday or whatever, but I have a listing appointment, but it's way out of my realm. I'm just going, to me, I'm not stressed about it. It's just fun because it's something different, but it's in Sammamish. The house is like 1.6, 1.8 million. It's in a country club. The lady interviewed one agent. She said she didn't like him or her because the agent was too pushy. She's interviewing another agent, and then she's interviewing me. And so, anyways, I'm going to go there today and just do my regular thing. But it's, the most expensive house I've sold is almost 1.1 in Bellevue. I sold a building more expensive, but that's not relatable for them. So, anyways, if you have any tips or something for going on a listing appointment that's out of your usual realm.
Well, I would say remove that thought process because they're just people and they need help like anybody else. And she's already given you a big piece of information, which is she didn't care for the type of people those other agents were. So I go in and ask, like Todd trains everybody, what do you need? What do you need? I'm here to help you.
Yeah, I go in my listing appointment. I go through asking them questions. I think main concern in my head is the house that she's in is like a mid 1970s house. So and it's not something that's really wow and awesome, but it is in the country club. But I always think, I could be wrong, that these people want some dog and pony show about how well their house is going to be marketed with super fancy somethings and super fancy this. And I don't know. I've never sold a house that's in a country club in Sammamish, so I don't know. She's older. She's not like a 60s, age person. So I don't know. She might have a whole different expectation. And I did ask her what she's looking for in an agent on the phone. She said the main thing they should be looking at is do we get along, the commission, and just the process, of course. So
That's fantastic intel to have going into that presentation.
Well, and I liked how you said in the beginning that something about you're just going to go in and be relaxed about it. I mean, we had a listing appointment on a pretty high-priced house, and I was saying the things I say to myself to Megan. You don't need it. You're going to be fine. There'll be other houses. We'll sell 2 houses and make the same commission. Just go in and be you, and be prepared. And it sounds like you're the listing king, so I think you're going to be just fine. Just get out of your own way.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is she affluent? Is she more of the affluent type wealth?
I'm not sure. I can't really tell. I had to push just a little bit for the appointment, and so through our conversation, I couldn't tell on where her personality lies in that. I know that generally speaking, I'm a pretty likable person.
Yeah.
From just that seems to be, I seem to have good success with that. So yeah, I think I had a listing appointment that went really well last night. So anyways, yeah.
I would suggest when I'm going into listing presentations where I don't feel comfortable, because I think was the bigger part of your question, is how when I am presenting, and I've presented in areas not just for listings, but across the United States. I had no idea about the audience demographics. I was talking on a new subject to a new group of people. And one thing it was uncomfortable. And we'll have those encounters, you know, as you go through your real estate practice, where you'll get into an uncomfortable spot. It's not that you don't know how to make a presentation. It's just that you're in an uncomfortable environment making a similar presentation. My suggestion is, and what has helped me, is to have everything organized. Have your notes prepared, have your presentation laid out in an order, so that you don't have to think about what am I going to say next, or what should I say next. And then if you need note cards, use your note cards. If you need a guide, it's okay. And I'm sometimes make presentations, you know, just straight off the cuff. Other times I'm going to make presentations and I'll have a little notepad. I just follow my notepad. You see presenters, you see it happening all the time with presentations. And sometimes we think, well, if I'm going to go out there with notes, they're going to think I'm a rookie. I would suggest that it could be the exact opposite. You know, what surgeon is going to operate without a set of x-rays handy?
Okay.
So just being prepared and having an order to a planned, a presentation is nothing more than a planned conversation. So perhaps, you know, I used to flip the switch in my head. Instead of making a presentation, I'm making a conversation, and make the switch from being transactional into transformational.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. And I did that last night when I was at the Bothell office, and it took 3 hours, but the guy was like, you're the baseline for who the other 3 agents I'm meeting, and I know they're not going to measure up to you. And so, yeah, and because I have my whole listing presentation memorized in my head. So
I knew it.
But I do keep an outline of it on my phone on a Google Doc that I just pull up and I have it ready if I want it right there. I guess maybe more of my concern is you haven't sold any houses here in the country club or in this area or in this high of a price point, which may be true, but that doesn't, in my mind, I don't care.
So
let's
handle that. Let's handle that.
Good.
Shoot
Okay.
that back to me.
Hey, Todd, you know, one of my concerns with if I was to hire you is you haven't sold any houses in our area at all, or in this country, this neighborhood, or anything.
You know, I'm really happy you brought that up, and you're absolutely correct. I am not going to suggest that I have, because obviously I have not. And that's exactly why you're going to hire me. Can I explain?
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. It's because I haven't sold anything in here. I'm going to be the most aggressive agent in order to prove to every other owner in this country club that I can do this. So I've got something to prove versus being entitled to just take your business because I've sold a few.
Got it. And I heard when Megan and Marilee were talking about their appointment a couple of weeks ago, that was kind of the same thing. And I was thinking in my head that would probably be your answer. So that's exactly it. Yeah.
There's another approach to that. And you know, when the big dogs were interviewing me and Rochelle to own a franchise, I go, who would you rather choose to win the race? Somebody that has a track record without drive, or somebody that has drive without the track record?
Well, somebody that has the drive.
Correct. Let's hope you make the right choice.
Okay.
That's how I freaking closed them. Thanks for the bell.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah. It's a spin. You know, what you believe is a disadvantage is actually a strength.
It's all in your head.
I agree. That's why I'm getting it out of my head right here with you guys.
Good.
That's right.
That's what we're
Yeah.
here for. You
Yeah,
bet.
yeah.
Anyone else? Share some experiences, share some wins. What's going on? Open up a little bit. Thanks for vulnerability, Rob. Appreciate that.
Yeah. I'll share from last night. I just thought some people are really fun to meet with, and not everybody is, but when I have my listing presentation, I was so paranoid about going on listing appointments when a few years ago that I was like, I'm going to memorize this completely, and that way I know exactly what to say, and I'm not, because I had never listed houses before. So now I have it down completely. This guy took me off track so many different times in so many different directions. I was able to get right back to where I was at every single time. And I think it's, I don't know how you guys all do your business, but I noticed on some recent appointments that I've been on that agents aren't really providing much information to the sellers. And Todd, that book that I shared with you, adding in the CMA with it, I mean, the last couple of appointments, the listing last week, she ended up selling it off market on a whim. And so I didn't get that listing, but
Right.
They were super appreciative of those booklets. And like the guy last night was like, oh, I get to keep this? And I was like, yeah, and to me, it's no big deal. Like, I just printed the stuff out and put it together. And so I've noticed that agents are just stapling together a CMA maybe. And so maybe those little things, if it helps anybody, I don't know the levels of their business here, but I know that makes a huge difference. And I don't base my presentation on the booklet. My presentation is kind of like how Todd does his. I don't know if you guys know, but I did notice that people really appreciate that. And when you take the time, like Marilee, I just ask them a bunch of questions and as part of the presentation. So I don't know if that helps anybody. But.
So what do you provide in that booklet? Or what
Can you post it on the website?
Yeah, I can do that. Well, on the website, you mean the Facebook group, or?
I'll tell you what, here's what you do. If you want it, you email Rob.
Okay, yeah.
If you want it, email Rob.
No, okay. Well, is it just the CMA or?
It's what I put together is it's a cover page with the CMA on how I do it. It has the realist printout. I print out I go to the county records and I print out the floor plan, because I've been to listing appointments where we disagree on what the house square footage is or things like that, or people said you should have came out here with a tape measure and known it already, or things like that. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to print it out and put it in the book, so that's in there. And then CMA, and then I put the little presentation. You could use it as a listing presentation, but it's just information, like it talks about when the best time to sell your house is in the first 2 weeks. What is a CMA? What is an appraisal? What is the difference? You can't sell your house with exposure to the market. And so here's my options, photography. And I know there's one at the Realty One Group website, but the one that I use is actually, I took it off Cloud CMA. I sent it to Fiverr. I had a Realty One design it with logos and colors. And then that's what I use now. So.
Do you also put your reviews in there?
I'm going to start doing that. Yes.
I use the one from the ROG site, and I've adjusted it and added to it and kind of tweak it client to client.
We're in the business as entrepreneurs, and it's our job as business professionals to build, to have something to start with, but then to ultimately build it out. Cloud CMA, I put a link in the Facebook business page. Cloud CMA, for a small fee, and that's the cost of doing business, provides a really nice, dolled up, fancy, impressive CMA. And if you want to afford, invest a little bit in your business, you can use that as Rob does, and then take it and send it to Fiverr and have somebody dress it up even more, and then you'll have your template.
Let me clarify. I didn't pay for it. Coldwell Banker paid for it, and I realized after I left there that I still was able to log in. And so
Okay.
I logged in and downloaded it. I took all the pages I wanted it for. They cut off my access, downloaded it. So I have that original version that has some Coldwell Banker stuff in it. And the Fiverr guy just took it all out and he put Realty One Group in there instead. And I did do
There
some
it is.
editing though.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to share that original one with anybody too.
The Matrix has a CMA that's pretty good. But your title rep too, I think will have probably an app. I like the one with Fidelity. I've found nothing that compares to it. And it automatically downloads what they owe on their mortgage, on their loan, which is interesting. So you don't have to dig that out. But yeah, your title rep would probably have a good CMA application you can use.
How does the app determine the balance of a loan?
There's a separate program that's attached to it.
I mean, how do they have how do they have access to the account balance?
I don't know,
Because
but there's a separate program that's attached to it. And it says the name of it. I've never heard of it, and then it just calculates what they owe on it, and it's pretty close. I always ask, but it's pretty dang close.
There's no way it's going to know if somebody's paying ahead of time. So it's going off just the calculation.
Yeah.
This last one, we were not spot on. I think I've done 4 of them and they were really dang close. This last one, we were not spot on, but close enough. And then it calculates it. And then you can change the templates and the colors. And it's actually pretty darn good, I think.
So in other words, that's great. Invest and investigate. Invest and investigate, and build your real estate practice. We carry a lot of hats, as entrepreneurs. We're marketers, we're presenters, we're lead generators, we're follow-uppers, we're counselors, we're coaches, we're designers. We do a lot, and it's asked a lot, but we can also earn a lot. So take advantages of all that opportunity. Great job.
Well,
Great job,
and what's
everybody.
so great about Orca is that we have this to collaborate with and help each other and learn and grow. It's really unique.
It is very unique.
Yeah, I like these meetings, and I wanted to add one thing too, in case it helps anybody. Is that I noticed that a lot of agents, when they do their CMA, they just print out listings and then they just show them to the seller. And speaking of the Matrix CMA function, I like to print out I think it's the full report, which gives the subject basically a 3-up comparison, subject, and then 2 comparables. And what I do is I go through and I actually make adjustments for, I don't know if everybody or anybody does this, but I go through and I'll adjust for square footage based on appraisals I've seen.
Wow.
Or if they have AC, I'll take off money for that. If they have I'll make adjustments for 1-car garage. Now, those aren't going to be exact, but I've actually found that I do come up with kind of a baseline of them being the same, where they pan out trying to make the houses equal. And it seems like homeowners just eat that up, like, oh, wow, like you're not just throwing, your neighbor sold over here for 500, and then the one guy down the street, he sold for 550. You're saying, okay, so this one sold for 600, but what I'm doing is I'm trying to make the houses equal. And so what I did is, I took 5,000 away because they have AC. I took 15,000 away because they have a 2-car garage, not a 1-car garage, or whatever the numbers might be fit for you. But I think that can set you apart from other agents that are just showing them 20 houses that sold in the neighborhood.
Wow, you're very analytical, and that approach is fantastic, because I don't do that. I don't take the time that you do, Rob, into doing that for my potential clients on listing appointments. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it used to take me a while, but now I just do it really fast because I have in my head numbers that I'll use. And it's just an extra thing, because if it's not a referral, then I need to go that extra mile when I'm going to somebody's house that I don't know, which is most of the time. So.
Okay. Well, this is sort of spawning some ideas. I think we may be able to do if we could do a panel, a live panel of once a quarter regarding these types of topics and bring more people to a meeting, and Orca will buy everyone lunch to do a best practices listing panel. We'll take the top listing brokers here at the firm, and 2 or 3, 4 of them get up there and share their successes and how they sell and how they list properties. I think I might put that together.
That would
That
be
sounds
fun. That'd be
great
good.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm hearing some fantastic stuff that sometimes people aren't awake yet or too busy to get to, that could benefit from this in a different format. And then having you share those experiences would be great, and I'd moderate it. That'd be good.
Yeah, that would be fun. I've had a lot of people help me get to where I'm at along the way, and it's always fun. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, you could take that a whole different, quite a few different topics that are value added for the team.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good idea.
Okay. Well, we have 8 minutes left. Douglas, anything on your mind?
Not really for this conversation.
Okay. Okay. Cool. How about you, Werner? Mantiel?
I got one question. I was just curious if I know you like on the CMA and on a listing appointment, you're doing comparables and stuff like that. My philosophy is a little bit is knowing the product. So I wonder how much energy or time do any of you guys put into actually researching a house, like the builder, that kind of stuff. Especially when, like what Rob was mentioning, the high-end houses, they have, certain builders that build these high-end houses, and these are the floor plans, and these are the hardwood floors, or all of that kind of stuff. Like, how much research do you put into knowing the actual house that you're going into to do the listing appointment?
On my highest house I did, which was $1 million, I did research on it. I felt like I needed to do a lot of research on it, but I mean, I don't do too much. It's just like everything else. You got to figure out how much time you're going to put into something.
I don't really research the houses too much, but I will look at the floor plan if it's available on the county records. But I think more importantly, in my experience, is what I'll do is, because I'm going to neighborhoods all the time that I don't know. And even like last night when I'm getting ready for today's appointment, I saw that it was in a country club. So I just Googled the country club, read a little bit, and then really I'm just reading I'm reading the agent remarks in the on the comparables that I'm using for the CMA. I'm just checking the school district. I'll go on Zillow. In a normal neighborhood, I'll look on Zillow, see what parks are nearby. I'll look on Google, and that way when I show up and they're like, the park down the street over on 150th. Oh yeah, the ABC park, yeah. Or or which high school, or like the guy asked me last night, which high school does he's older, he doesn't have kids anymore. He said, which high school is it? I said, it's Jackson, right? Oh yeah, Jackson. Well, I don't even live in that area. I don't even know where Jackson High School is, but I look at that stuff before I go. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I don't focus too much on the house, more on the area.
Yeah, that's exactly. Okay, that's what I was getting at. The area, like how much information do you put into that? Then basically crunching the numbers and looking at the numbers. Thanks for the input.
Yeah.
Douglas, are you in SeaTac?
Just north. I'm at the airport.
Okay, I have a new agent coming on board soon. I think I'll hook you guys up.
Okay.
He lives in SeaTac as well.
Okay, cool. That'd be cool.
Okay.
Who's this new agent?
His name's 𝐦𝐨𝐬. He's done some assisting with me. He's a friend. And he's just, been really interested in getting his license. He loves real estate.
So he's a new licensee?
Yeah, he hasn't studied the test yet. He keeps talking about it, but I think he's getting closer to doing it.
Okay.
And he does live in SeaTac.
Okay.
Yeah.